Something that I didn't really consider until this morning, thinking about it, was how dangerous it actually is for a blind person to cross the road if they don't have that pedestrian crossing lights. I mean, they have no way to tell who driving, and I mean the way people drive down here,
Yeah.
and then to get the technology to be able to detect something that far away, moving at whatever speed, you will need like a lot of effort to be put into something like that to make it up to that standard.
Yes, yes, that is very, very true. And I mean, we have a very ambitious goal because we want to be able to help people to navigate without the use of the cane. And, I've had, a number of persons, think, okay, well, the cane is very, very essential part of navigation for someone who's blind. But we recognize that as technology is advancing, it has its limitations. And so we set that goal because we want people to say, here's what, you no longer have to be defined by your ability and you have to require a cane in order to be able to move around. Now, over time, it's not going to be something that we'll be able to do immediately, right?
Mhm.
The cane has its uses. It helps people to identify that this person is blind. And without that, sometimes people would assume that, well, they do have a cane and you could see and they could.
Yeah.
But there are varying degrees of visual impairment. There's a spectrum, and so people they could have low vision, but sometimes the low vision might be they may not be able to see in one half of the eye.
Mhm.
Um, it may be that there's a cataract that shrouds their vision in some places, but they could see other things. And so, depending on the type of visual impairment that they have, they may be very well able to see you, but they can't read the board, right? They can't read any
Okay.
characters or any street signs or anything like that. So it's important that there's something that identifies the person as being blind or visually impaired, but we want that to change from being keen so that people could be
Mhm.
independent and do things for themselves without having to, always tell somebody, hey, I'm blind,
Yeah, and then I guess with the keying as well, you're adding a secondary handicap where you now have one hand always occupied, so you only have one hand,
Yes, that is true.
useful.
That is true.
Maybe something to look at is making it, well, it's already a wearable device, but it'd be good if like somebody involved in fashion would get involved and design like a jacket where you could have sensors on your shoulders, to kind
Right.
of work it into the design. So when you put it on, it just looks like a jacket. It doesn't look like you're wearing anything.
Well, I love that you brought that up because that's where I want to take it.
Mm.
And you mentioned fashion, and that has been something in my mind. I've been actually looking more towards the industrial design
Mm.
area, which would more or less include looking at ergonomics and how it would be worn. But a fashion designer would add a little bit more of a flair to it in terms of,
Yeah.
with this visual appeal and the aesthetics behind it that would make this product something that people want to wear. And, recognize that even though sometimes people might be blind or, they can't see anything with respect to the garments that they're wearing, but they're very much conscious
Mhm.
about, how they look and they want to, be in style just like anybody
Yeah,
else.
everybody wanna
And
look
so,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's critical. We didn't think about it as much, but feedback that we got is that we
Mhm.
need to make this thing look good so that, when people, when they wear it, they're comfortable.